and I okay, so we are being recorded. The first webinar was on the 4th of April, and that was about helping students increase cognitive potential using social and emotional learning. So Heather has offered to us social and emotional learning series. Then there was another one on the 29th of May, which also concerned social and emotional learning from the point of view of tools that could help the learners. Then there was another one on the 1st of July, increased motivation in the language classroom, using the growth mindset. And we specified what that growth mindset is, and we also referred this idea to our own teaching. So activities and examples of implementation. And today, social and emotional learning in the English language classroom, growth mindset continued. Yes, help learners identify mistakes and failure as an essential part and change the way learners approach their learning. So over to you, Heather. And I'm really glad that you are all here, all the participants. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Luciana. This is really exciting to see people entering into the chat where they're coming from. I don't get to teach overseas these days, so being in a same room with teachers from Bulgaria, Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Poland, Argentina, Slovenia. If you've got some other wonderful places to add in there, I'd love to hear where you're coming from. That's to me really exciting, as I'm stuck here in the States for now, and but still being permitted to teach as we go through this new piece of information. So I would love to also, I would also love to have everyone grab their telephones, because as we review, we're going to be doing a activity that will require you to have your phones. And I'm hoping that at this point, you are able to see the screen with the first slide. During the course of my speaking and offering this webinar, I encourage you, look at that, we've got someone from Cambodia. I don't know which flag that is, but Jim Kevin said that he was from, he didn't say where. What is that flag? It looks like, I don't even want to guess. I have an idea in my head, but there we go, Philippines. Fantastic. So please, I'll be keeping a close eye on the chat, and I will be monitoring it for your questions. So please, when you get a question, put that into the chat, and that will be our way of communicating misunderstanding or clarification with anything that I present today. So everybody has their phones. Make sure everybody's got your phone right there. I've got my phone right here, because one of our first activities will use that. So today is the second part of a growth mindset. Today is second part of growth mindset. First, I introduced it to everyone, and today I'm going to dig a little deeper with that. All right, we've got Tunisia and Morocco. Oh, I love it. That's fantastic. It's very exciting to me. Lucina already gave you some information about me, but this slide just gives you an idea of my education and experience, which is 20 years of language acquisition. I've been doing nothing but bilingual education and language acquisition with students from all the way to kindergarten up to into the university level as well. And currently working in administration and also that language, pardon me, that international piece, which has been wonderful. Today's presentation, we're going to start off with a review of what is growth mindset, and then we'll move into what it is and what it is not, because it's easy to overgeneralize and believe that growth mindset is just a happy, smiley face that overly encourages students, but that's not what it is. something called the power of yet, that word yet, and the brain science behind the growth mindset, and also finding strengths as students as a scaffold to learning. And then I will also leave you with some tools that are online that you can access to learn more about. So it looks like we've got 22 participants at this point. And here we're going to start off with a quote. All things are difficult before they are easy. Thomas Fuller was a theologian from England, and he was well known for his work with teaching and learning. And this is a quote from him, kind of fun. I think it's a little poster that you can put up on your wall in your classroom. In this session, you will build a deeper understanding of growth mindset, which is a social and emotional competency that helps students succeed. It's not, it's proven by research, and we will go through some of that research as well as the brain science behind that. And you should leave with at least one specific technique or idea that you can use in your classroom to support your students in developing that growth mindset. You will not be asked to implement a new program or some trendy curriculum with regards to growth mindset. And here's a quick justification for growth mindset skills. So these are non-cognitive skills that students need in the process of being good learners. So this is not something that will benefit them just while they're in your classroom, but if they get a solid grasp of growth mindset, it will benefit them throughout the course of their life. Growth mindset is used here in the United States for business, sports, and education. And it's even, and in business, it is used to motivate and help people who are in the area of business to have a success-oriented point of view. So it encourages perseverance, continuing to try, viewing mistakes as just one of the steps of success. It impacts heavily motivation because it takes away negative self-talk. Social awareness, seeing the successes of others as an inspiring input in the process, as well as self-control. And I don't know about all the countries that your students are going to be coming from, but I know that in the United States, with the prevalence of video games and instant social media gratification, self-control is sometimes sometimes difficult for students in the United States. These are often referred to as social emotional skills or non-cognitive skills, or also just soft skills. But those soft skills, those are the front of your brain, your prefrontal cortex. That's your executive function, permits you to do long-term planning, take and synthesize a number of different factors in situations to come to a good conclusion or response. And finally, standardized tests do not assess these skills, and yet they are some of the most potent and important ones when it comes to being a good learner. And as we start off, I don't know, some of you may have already been in the first webinar. I am not sure who. We're going to do a review activity. It is 10 questions, and it's an online, you might have used it before. It's called Kahoot, and it's very popular here. In Kahoot, actually just go over here. Not this one. I want you to go to, I'm hoping you can see my screen. I'm going to make sure, put your thumb up if you can see this purple screen. Thumb up if you can see the purple screen. Anybody see this purple screen with a thumb up if you can see it? And pick up your phone. And I think I saw one. I just need one thumb up for that you guys can see this purple screen. There's 25. I want you to go to this website, www.kahoot.it, and I'm going to put that in the chat. Where'd my chat go? There it is. Kahoot is a good app. Yes. You guys are familiar with it. Fantastic. So go to this web page, and it will tell you to enter the game PIN, and this is the game PIN. And once you have entered that website and you've entered all right, there we go. We've got one person in so far. Fantastic. We've got 2 people in now. All right, 3 people in. Excellent. Waiting for some more people. All right, 4 people. We've got a total of 25 people in our webinar. I hope that I can at least get 10 of you in here before we start. Yeah, Kahoot is a good one. It's something that students seem to enjoy. All right, there we go. We got 6 people in, 7. Waiting for a few more, just 3 more, and then we'll start the game. Okay, well, we lost one person. I know sometimes it's hard with our internet connection being a little dicey. All right, we're still at 6. I need a couple more people to come on into the game. It's fun, it's easy. All right, back to 7. If you're just going to choose between 2 options, so you have 50% chance of being right anytime you select an answer. Okay, I think I'm going to be happy with 7 because I don't have that much time. We're going to start the game now. This is fixed mindset versus growth mindset. And it's a little quiz. So this criticism, I'm not concerned about the opinions of others. I will succeed by doing it my way. And you must choose between, is that a fixed mindset or is that a growth mindset? I'm not concerned about the opinions of others. I will succeed doing it my way. Is that considered a fixed or a growth mindset? Okay. 4 of you got it correct. That's a growth mindset. Growth mindset says, I'm not concerned about the opinions of others. I'll succeed doing it my way. Okay. All right. Fantastic. Scoreboard looks like, who's at the top at this point? Doesn't show anything. So next question. The attitude towards setbacks. I failed, but I can learn from this. Is that considered a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? You'll answer on your phone. I failed, but I can learn from this. Is that growth or fixed? Ooh, right, we got some more people in here. Fantastic. Woof, look at that, 12 answers. Okay. All right, 11 of you said that's a growth mindset. That's correct. That's correct. It's a growth mindset when you believe you can learn from your mistakes. Okay, I don't know why it's not giving me the scores. I know somebody must be up there. Number 3, desire. I don't mind taking risks and I enjoy a good challenge. Is that now fixed is red and growth is blue? So they switched it. Is that considered a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? I don't mind taking risks and I enjoy a good challenge. All right. Most of you, everyone said that was a growth mindset. Fantastic. You guys are getting this. You understand. I don't know why they're not showing the scores, but you won't worry. Attitude to challenges. Will it help me overcome the challenges? I might have made a mistake in the scoring. Will learning this help me overcome challenges? So this is a growth. The blue is growth. I know that there's a little bit of weirdness down there. Blue is growth mindset and red is fixed. So this sentence, attitude towards challenges, will it help me overcome? Is that a growth? Or yes, it is a growth mindset. If you got a good answer on that one, if you chose blue, you're on the way. Fantastic. Finally, we've got some, all right, looks like Karen Koala is at the top. Success of others. I like to surround myself with successful people to learn from them. Is that considered a fixed mindset at the red or a growth mindset on the blue? I like to surround myself with successful people to learn from them. Look at that. Okay, yeah, you guys are getting this. I'm glad I did this as a review because I didn't want to have to go through all of this again. Oh, look at that. Blue rooster's up at the top now. Fantastic. Desire. I want to look smart and cannot fail. If I fail, I won't look smart. Is that considered a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? Growth is blue, fixed is red. I want to look smart and I cannot fail. Okay, most of you said that's a fixed mindset, and that is correct. Okay, if you're afraid of failing, you're not using your growth mindset. Look at that, blue rooster still at the top. Fantastic. 7 out of 10, effort. I've got this. I'm smart and I always excel at tests. I've got this. Is that a growth mindset or is that a fixed mindset? I am smart and I always excel at tests. Is that considered? This one's kind of tricky. Be careful. All right. But you guys still got it. That is a fixed mindset, because if, growth mindset is really less about being intelligent and it's more about the process of working through problems. So yeah, it is considered fixed mindset. It's an excellent positive thing to say to yourself, but it might not be true. For some of us, tests might not be the area that we work the best. All right. We got blue rooster still at the top. Way to go. Polite squid coming on up. Success of others. I want to be the smartest person in the room. Is that an example of a fixed mindset here at blue or growth mindset here at red? I want to be the smartest person in the room. Okay. All right, fixed mindset. Yeah, because that smartness is in growth mindset not as important as the perseverance and the trying of different new ways to learn something. So you guys have this. You're absolutely on target. Okay, blue rooster with polite squid. Good job. I think I see some people who were in the last webinar and pulled it in well. Criticism. I try to absorb feedback and improve from it. Is that a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? Try to
ما يجي تسمع فيها مسكر الميكرو متاعي. ايش بك نحيت الحس؟
Okay.
صافا يمشي.
Most of you, that was a growth mindset. Absolutely. Blue rooster still at the top. Polite squid is on fire. Fantastic. All right, we're on our last one. Take a look at that chat room. It says, evaluation of situations. Am I exposing myself to embarrassment if I make a mistake? Is that a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? Also another tricky one, because they're asking themselves a question. Am I exposing myself to embarrassment if I make a mistake? All right, just about even. So 9 of you said that it was a growth mindset. Am I exposing myself to embarrassment? But in fact, that asking yourself if you're going to be embarrassed about making a mistake, that shows that you're still working from that fixed mindset. Whereas growth mindset, embarrassment is way down on the list of what's important. And process, learning, using strategies, those are the important things that are happening. Fantastic. Let's see what our scores are. The podium, we've got, all right, Rockstar Goose is number 3. Polite Squid is number 2. And number 1, Spotlight, Blue Rooster. Good job, Blue Rooster. I want to know who Blue Rooster is so that we can recognize that person. Fantastic. Please stay muted. Okay, hello, hello, hello. Hi, Mohammed. Fantastic. All right, good stuff. Who was Blue Rooster? Step forward, Blue Rooster. Daisy, was that you? Were you the Blue Rooster? You can unmute and say yes. Hello. All yes. Right, way to go, Daisy. Good job. Okay, so this was a great little quick review of what growth mindset is. Way to go, Daisy. You win the prize today. Absolutely fantastic. So way to have learned a lot very fast with regards to growth mindset. And there we go. Growth mindset is views failure as an opportunity to learn. Fixed mindset. Yeah, good job, Daisy. I love that. All right, Egypt Mohammed, fantastic. Fixed mindset is like, if I don't do good at it, if I fail, that means I'm not smart. Growth mindset, I can learn to do anything I want. Fixed, I'm either good at it or not. Last time I used the example of my trying to learn guitar and the friend who was helping me who wasn't very helpful. He gave me the guitar though, that was good. Challenges help me grow in a growth mindset, whereas fixed mindset, fixed mindset is, I don't like to be challenged because then I might look stupid in front of everybody. Growth mindset says my effort and my abilities, my attitude determine what I can do. Whereas fixed mindset, you always believe like, oh, it's already predetermined, I can't do anything to change it. Growth mindset likes feedback, criticism, constructive. The fixed mindset, nope, that means they're attacking me and who I am. And if you say I can't do this problem or I haven't done it right, it's because there's something wrong with me. Okay, so that's could be really painful. We're going to move forward with a new video about growth mindset. This one is based on the book where all of my information is coming from. This is a book called Growth Mindset, The New Psychology to Succeed. It's not actually that new anymore. It's been around for a little while, but I think it's a little bit cultural too, and that's why I chose this for our presentation today. So I'm going to skip over to watching this video about growth mindset.
When I was young, I always felt like I was being judged. At the age of 7, I developed a severe stutter, and I feared that I might not be as smart as the other kids in my class. In school, I had one all-consuming goal: don't look stupid. In my head, I'd always be thinking, what are the chances that I'm going to stutter and look stupid in this situation? If the chances were high, then I would do anything I could to avoid that situation. It wasn't until I read the book Mindset by Deweck that I really understood my constant fear of judgment. In the book Mindset, author and renowned psychologist Deweck explains that the constant fear of judgment and the need to avoid looking stupid stems from a core belief people have about themselves and everyone around them. That belief is everyone has a set amount of intelligence. From that belief, the logic goes, if I only have a fixed amount of intelligence, and if I start making mistakes and look stupid doing something, then I must not have very much intelligence. Deweck calls this underlying belief a fixed mindset. If you have a fixed mindset, you essentially believe you've been dealt a hand of cards in the poker game of life, and you're stuck with those cards. If you happen to get good grades in school, and your parents praise you for it, then you might start to believe you've been dealt a royal flush. But as you get older and face competition in school, make mistakes on tests, and encounter challenging situations, you start fearing that the hand you've been dealt really isn't that good. To maintain the illusion that you're still smart and special and talented, you avoid doing anything that you might look bad at, and you simply lose interest and stop trying. Because if you show that you don't care and you're not really trying, then people can't really judge your full ability. Author Deweck has seen this pattern emerge over and over again in her research. In one study, she gave 5th graders a group of puzzles to solve. Each of the puzzles was within their current puzzle-solving ability, and all the kids loved them. But when she increased the difficulty of the puzzles, the children who had been praised for their puzzle-solving ability and developed the belief that they were gifted showed a steep decline in interest and effort as the puzzles got harder. However, Deweck found that there was another group of children who didn't shy away from the puzzles once they got harder. When Carol asked them why, they said the puzzles were an opportunity for them to get smarter. These kids took the initiative and asked Deweck if she could write down the names of some of the puzzles so their mom could buy more when they got home. These kids had what Deweck calls a growth mindset. Growth mindset people don't believe talent and intelligence is a gift. They believe you have to work for it. A person with a growth mindset firmly believes that with the right strategy and enough effort and time, they can get better at anything. A growth mindset person believes they're always getting smarter, so they're less afraid of being labeled stupid. They know that even if they've been dealt a bad hand in the poker game of life, they can continue to draw more cards by putting in more effort and finding better strategies until they eventually have a great hand of cards. Now, this growth mindset seems inspiring. It seems cool to be able to grow our intelligence. But is it actually true? Well, 40 years ago, the answer would be no. Scientists at the time thought you could grow a little, but you were largely constrained by the default wiring of your brain. But recent science shows that they were mistaken. Based on other books I've read over the years, I've learned 3 amazing ways you can change your brain. Regardless of how old you are, you can physically grow your brain, you can speed up the circuits in your brain, and you can rewire your brain for increased performance and intelligence on specific tasks. Several years ago, before taxi drivers used GPS to get around, brain researchers took brain imaging scans of experienced London taxi drivers. Researchers noticed that the more time a London taxi driver had spent driving a taxi in London, the larger a region of the brain associated with spatial awareness and memory, the hippocampus, had become. It was apparent that the more demands the taxi drivers put on their brains, the more they had to navigate the challenging road system of London, the more neurons they were able to grow in an area of the brain that they needed to complete their job. But not all brain regions can expand in size. So, other brain regions just make circuits faster. This is done by the process of myelination. As I briefly touched on in my deep work book summary, when you focus intensely on a single subject for a period of time, you start forming white sheaths on your brain cells called myelin. This myelin acts like insulation on an electric circuit. A brain circuit with myelin can transmit information up to 10 times faster than a brain circuit without myelin. After you've added as much myelin as you can to brain cells, you can then increase the capacity of your brain by rewiring it so it activates neighboring brain regions to assist with certain tasks. You can think of this like rewiring a house, so that when you hit a switch to turn on one light, you actually turn on 2 or 3 additional lights nearby. One study showed that when a person practices guitar for hundreds of hours and uses their fingers in their left hand to play the different notes on the strings of the guitar, they light up regions of their brain associated with the left fingers, no surprise. But they also light up regions of the brain associated with the palm of the left hand. When researchers took brain scans of novice guitar players, only the fingers in the left hand were activated in the brain. It turns out that guitar players who had put in hundreds of hours of practice were able to activate more of their brain so they could play the guitar with more speed and accuracy. Now that I know that I can grow my brain's capacity, I think about challenges in a new way. Before I go into a challenge, I stop thinking, will I look smart or stupid while doing this? And start thinking, what can I learn? After a difficult challenge and a series of mistakes, I stop thinking, I'm not smart enough to do this, and start thinking, I'm not smart enough to do this yet. Now that I've changed my core belief to everyone can grow their cognitive abilities, I am less afraid of being stupid because I know I am continuously getting smarter. Even if I look stupid now, I won't look stupid very long if I apply enough effort and the right strategies. I now have the courage and confidence to go into challenging situations because those situations will allow me to upgrade my brain and learn the skills to overcome future challenges. That was the core message that I gathered from Mindset by author Carol Deweck. Reading this book will set you on the path to becoming an infinite learner. I highly recommend it.
Okay, so before he starts trying to sell us a book, let's go back to our presentation. And I'm going to check in on that chat area. Yeah, there is an echo. Somebody should probably close off their mic. Make sure that all of your microphones are muted. Some good commentary from Theodora. And yes, and the iceberg applies to many different things. And Ines has mentioned that she has read a book about it, Mindsets in the Classroom, with ready-to-use resources. Fantastic. So there's a good recommendation from Ines with ready-to-use resources about teaching growth mindset. So in order to wrap up our review, Theodora says it's not working. I would like for you in the chat to you can start your sentence with growth mindset could be a good tool in the classroom because, and why the growth mindset is a valuable tool to use in the classroom. So please put in the chat, growth mindset could be a good tool in the classroom because, and finish that sentence. Also, if you have a burning question, you can put that here, and then we're going to dig into the new material. We're halfway through. So the new material that I was going to present. Oops, let's go back here. I'm looking for your questions. Hopefully, if you've got a question or a justification about why growth mindset is a good tool in the classroom. First, we'll start off with what it is and what it is not. And we're going to be looking at 4 different things. The impacts of praise on a student, the power of the word yet. We've already talked about the brain science, but we'll take a little bit more. And using strengths finding as a tool for students to encourage themselves and increase their motivation to continue learning and knowing what they do well and what they enjoy, and using those capacities in order to continue their learning. Daisy said, growth mindset could be a good tool in the classroom because it paves a way for positive attitudes towards learning. For example, open-mindedness. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Daisy. And Renalyn, I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name. Growth mindset is a good tool because it can develop self-motivation in students. Absolutely. Fantastic. Yes, it encourages students' activity. It will help students shift their attention to what is they're after, the failure or mistake. Yes, absolutely. They quit being afraid of making a mistake and instead just view those mistakes as a normal part of the process, and especially valuable in the language learning classroom because inevitably mistakes will be happening there. We're not born speaking another language perfectly. So going back to our presentation. So one of the important details about growth mindset is it's hard to know as a teacher what you should say to your students. And so this section gives words to us as teachers to praise in a way that's going to encourage a growth mindset. So for example, emphasizing progress over perfection, that's a really important tool. You need to, as a teacher, rather than praising the final product of whatever has happened, praise that process, okay? Praise anytime progress has been made. Not overly so, but yeah, it looks like you're getting there, okay? That's a great idea. To find the answer, let me know how it works when a student is using a strategy, okay? Let me know how that strategy works for you, or let me know how that strategy works for you could be kind of as a teacher, you know that strategy is gonna lead them in an incorrect path, but a lot of times we learn better when we learn it on our own without someone telling us, right? I see that you're working hard. Fantastic. Keep working. So more about praising the process and less about praising the outcomes or intelligence, you know. And effort instead of perfection. Looks like math, writing, speaking in front of the class is hard work, okay? So speaking to students and acknowledging that they're working hard is an important detail. I grabbed another short video out of the toolkit on this one. And it's got an advertisement. I'm so sorry.
Writing's not that easy.
So I'm going to mute that until it's all over. It looks like it's a little bit of a long one. And go back to the chat while we're waiting for this to end. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So much good stuff in here. Fantastic. And some questions as well, because it will help students shift their attention from mistake and failure. All right, we're going to pause this and take a look at these chat comments. Growth mindset can be a good tool in the classroom because it brings out the best in students. Absolutely. It encourages students to focus on the work that they're putting in, right? Please tell us when, okay, somebody's concerned about those certificates. It encourages learners and helps them develop a positive emotion. Yeah, that one of the best things you can do as a teacher is to create a love of learning for students. To be responsible for their own learning. Fantastic. Yes, they're the ones in charge of it. They start seeing mistakes as an opportunity to learn and develop, absolutely, and encourages learners and helps them develop positive emotions. Definitely positive emotions will help with enjoying learning and not viewing it as hard or unpleasant work, because it will help build resilience and a can-do attitude, okay? Definitely resilience as a learner is crucial. Last time we looked at famous fails, and Thomas Edison had said, someone said, how did you feel after making 1,000 mistakes before you invented the light bulb? And he said, I really didn't view it as 1,000 mistakes. I viewed it as a process with 1,000 steps. So viewing those mistakes as just steps in the process of learning something, whether it's math or writing. Growth mindset could be a good tool in the classroom because it helps promote self-development and positivity. Yeah, it's as opposed to pointing the finger and saying, oh, that kid's not very smart. It's acknowledging some of us just take longer to learn some things. I know that that's definitely been the truth in my classrooms. It reduces learners' anxiety in speaking. Yes, a really big deal in the language learning classroom, because without the ability to speak English, what are we? You know, when you use language, most of the time you're using it to speak, not just read. Fantastic. What about students who are ignorant? They say they don't care about their growth or anything. Okay, that was a private message to me. I'll get back to that one later. It also engenders a sense of humanism in the classroom, the feeling of being engaged in a community. Yes, absolutely. Creating a safe environment in your classroom to make those mistakes is the most important thing as teachers that we're going to be doing. It's fundamental, it's the foundation. How do we help students who have internalized the belief that they're not good enough, that they always fail and focus on the mistakes only? Yes, I have had students like this, and every student is going to be different. That's where your relationship building skills are going to really help you, and be in touch and focus on the positive process and pointing out to students when they have made those wins. Like, look at that, you persevered and you got it. This is a beautiful example of what you are capable of when you work hard. So praising both that process and the output for those students who have unfortunately had voices in their life telling them that they are not good enough, which that's not something that's just in one country, it's all over the world. So a little bit of relationship building and a little bit of focused attention on that student's capacity and their process will be a good place to start, but just start. Appraisal of small acts from students is also quite significant. Yeah, noticing when they're doing things correctly, you know, noticing like, woo, look at Pavel, he's already got his pencil out, he's got his paper, he's ready to go, okay? Look at Fyodor, he's on top of it, his book is open, he is ready to learn. Little things like that, those are significant. All right, let's watch this next video about praise as we take a look a little bit more closely at that.
I wanted to look into the impacts that praise had on children's development. So what they did is they took over 400 fifth grade students from all across the nation, and they did a really simple yet interesting study. Here's how it went down. They gave all the kids a really, really easy nonverbal IQ test. There were 10 questions, and at the end of the test, they praised all the children in one of two ways. The first group was praised for their intelligence. So they said, wow, great job, you must be really smart at this. Now the second group was praised for their effort. So they said, wow, great job, you must have worked really, really hard at this. Now this is a really subtle difference, but the impact it had is incredible. So after praising the kids and getting them divided up into the two groups, they gave them all an option for their next test. The first option was, hey, this next test is going to be a little bit harder, but it's going to be a great opportunity to learn and grow. Now the second option was, this next test will be similar to the first, and you will surely do well on it. Now the interesting thing is, out of the group that was praised for their intelligence, 67% of them chose the easier option. While
Oopsie. Trying to get some of this noise off.
92% of the kids who were praised for their effort chose the harder test. This is unbelievable to think about, how just the subtle difference in the way that they were praised had such an impact. Carol Deweck explains why this
The
happened.
child or adult hears, oh, you think I'm brilliant and talented. That's why you admire me. That's why you value me. I better not do anything that will disprove this evaluation. As a result, they enter a fixed mindset, they play it safe in the future, and they limit the growth of their talents. Whereas focusing on the strategies they use, the way they're stretching themselves and taking on hard tasks, the intense practice they're doing, those are the kinds of things that say to a child or an older athlete, it's about the process of growth. As a result, they don't feel, oh, if I make a mistake, you won't think I'm talented. They think, oh, if I don't take on hard things and stick to them, I'm not going to grow.
Next, Deweck and her colleagues gave all the kids a really, really difficult test. It was one that they would surely fail, but they wanted to look at how the different kids attacked this challenge. Deweck noticed that the group that was praised for effort worked harder, longer, and actually enjoyed this test more than the group that was praised for their intelligence. This group got really frustrated with this test and had the tendency to give up early. After this artificially induced failure round, all of the kids were given a third and final test. Now, this test was the same level of difficulty as the first one, but check out the results. The group that was praised for their intelligence actually did worse on this test than the first one. Their average score actually dropped by 20%, while the group that was praised for their effort did significantly better, raising their average score by nearly 30%. This is a 50% difference in performance that was caused by a few subtle differences in the way that they were praised. This study shows how praise can either make or break a child's development. I mean, we all do it. We all want to be positive with the children we work with. So teachers, coaches, parents are always looking for ways to support their kids and tend to praise them quite a bit. So we need to look at research like this and realize, okay, praise is a good thing and there's nothing wrong with being positive, but we need to be very careful about praising someone's intelligence or abilities and focus more on the process and the effort that they put forth.
People
Okay.
ask me every day, what do I do?
Let's see if I can get this to work here. All right. So that video, and it looks like we've got some comments in the chat. So let's revisit the chat. Talking about the direction we should take our praise when we want to encourage students to continue working. Growth mindset could be a good tool in the classroom, prepares for real life situations. Yes. Don't worry about any noises you've got in the background. Keep your mic muted and we're all good. Teachers should be, this was a private one. It said, teachers should be very helpful and involve learners in any of the processes in the classroom. Learners will gradually build a sense of belonging and increase levels of receptivity. Yes, so that's about creating that sense of community in the classroom. And so we're going to move on from there to the power of yet. Take this moment now, if you've got any questions about that video that talked about the specifics of praise, praising effort, praising process, praising hard work, as opposed to praising cognitive abilities or talent, right? Put your questions in the chat and I will continue on with the power of yet. Lots of information here, so I'm trying to move fast. Yet is a small word and it can be used so often it is hard for students sometimes linguistically to understand what it means. But in this case, yet will definitely clarify. It means I can't do this yet, not right now, but it's coming. It's coming on down. I've started doing this with my daughter when she says, can I wear this to school? And I say, not yet, not yet. So I'm no good at this yet. Okay, so help students reframe the way they're thinking about things that are hard. It doesn't work. Just say yet. I can't do multiplication yet. Okay, long division is super hard for me. I can't do it. You can't do it yet. This doesn't make sense yet. I don't understand it yet. It's a powerful little word. It shifts the way students think about what it is that they're doing in their learning, and it turns it into a possible potential thing that will happen if they continue their effort. So when a student is discouraged and uses language that demonstrates a fixed mindset, help them move toward a growth mindset by using the word yet. I still don't get this turns into I don't get this yet. What strategy can I try next? I'm not good at speaking in front of people turns into I'm not good at speaking in front of people yet. This might take some patience and some work, because definitely that's what we're there in school for. You check that chat box, see what you've contributed towards this idea. Yet is like a promise. Absolutely, it is like a promise. Yes, it is a hope to improve, and you're gonna get this. So you're just not there yet. And I'm also sharing a short video, and this one is for students. I'm a little bit concerned about my time, and I've got some more stuff here. I don't think this is a very long video. Looks like I'm not linked up to it at this point. There we go, there's my link. Yeah, it's just a 2-minute long video, so we can.
Chapter 3. Katie discovers the incredible power of yet. Our story begins with Katie, a friendly monster who loved being the smartest one in class. Until one day, when something unsettling happened. It was Katie's favorite time of the day, science class. She was always the best at science. But today, something was different. Everyone was having a great time working on a fun project. But Katie just didn't get it. She started to ask for help. But then she had a frightening thought. If she asked for help, everyone would see she really wasn't so smart after all. She decided to keep quiet and pretend everything was okay. A little while later, Katie was sitting at lunch, feeling glum, when Mojo stopped by. "Katie, you're a genius," said Mojo. What?" said Katie. "I was working on this project today," said Mojo, "and I got stuck. Normally, I would just give up and start throwing paper airplanes. But then I remembered what you said about how your brain is like a muscle. And I thought, hey, it's not like I can't do this. I just can't do it yet." So I turn to Bruce and I say, "Hey, Bruce, I don't get this yet." And he's all like, "No problemo, Mojo. I'll help you figure it out." So we worked on it together. And now we have the sweetest volcano you've ever seen. "That's great, Mojo," said Katie. "But weren't you embarrassed to ask for help?" "No way! Why would I be embarrassed when I could be learning something new?" Well, Katie couldn't believe it. She'd been teaching Mojo all about the brain. But maybe it was time she learned a lesson from him. What do you think? Can Katie learn something from Mojo? Now that's an interesting question indeed.
Okay, so that's a good video that you can share with students. I can put that link in the chat. I'm going to copy that, put that up into the chat if I can get it to pop up for me. No, not quite there. There we go. Okay, looks like we've got some comments in the chat. Oh, look at this. All kinds of stuff in there. That's the video for students about the power of yet. And it's in the nice British English, if for some of you that is an important detail. All right, looks like we've got some IATEFL information here. Fantastic. And now we're going to continue on. It means also not ready for the time being. Okay, yet implies there's hope. Yes, and not ready for the time being. Fantastic. Yeah, I think yet means something is in the works. Absolutely. And you're working on achieving something. Yes, it's very powerful. That's exactly, yes, you're getting it. You totally see what I'm going after here. So we talked a little bit about the brain science, but I wanted to just give you also a little bit of research. Empirical studies have revealed that growth mindset has a positive effect on student motivation and academic performance. Recent research has also shown that mindset is related to student outcomes and behaviors, including academic achievement, engagement, and willingness to attempt new challenges. So I don't know about you, but management in the classroom is something I'd rather not have to continually approach and deal with. I want to work with teaching. So yes, yet equals work in progress. I'm going to put the research right there in the chat room so that you can follow up with that. If you are interested in doing so, just put that in a search engine and it should come up with that article. So this next, oops, wait a second. Yeah, that's, and then now this. Okay, so this is just a reiteration of what we've seen in those videos. Okay, an example of a challenge is they receive a poor grade on an exam. Depends on their mindset, how they view that. If the student believes her intelligence is fixed, she will go down this line of, I'm stupid at this, I shouldn't even bother trying. And then she'll start to give up. And then obviously her academic performance will go down and then she will not do as well in school. Whereas if the student believes that she can grow her intelligence, she looks at that test score that says F in math or English or writing or whatever. She says, I have not mastered this yet. I need to work harder or try a new thing. So that's when she's going to have to really grow her brain by figuring out how next can I approach this. She increases her effort, talks to a teacher, talks to a friend. She uses learning strategies. And then ultimately, when she overcomes it, she builds her own sense of confidence in what she can do. So these are, just the chain of what happens when one is using growth versus fixed mindset. Mistakes are part of the learning process in growth mindset. Praise and reward effort and process as opposed to outcomes, and communicate high expectations. So this was the most important part of the slide. Don't lower your expectations as a teacher. Just keep recognizing students' ability and increased capacity in the area of their process and their effort. But keep that expectation high. We're not looking to just praise students just to praise students to make them feel happy. We're looking at praising students to acknowledge and recognize when they make an effort. And sometimes that might be as small as, oh, right, your book is open, your pencil is out, you're ready to go, your head is off the desk. I mean, sometimes you have to go really low. Looks like you're making progress, okay? So that they know that you're watching them. Moving forward, so this is one of my favorite parts, is leveraging student strengths, okay? It is good once or twice throughout the course of the year, maybe even only once, and put it up on the wall if you can. Have students identify, and this is grown-ups, secondary students, college students. This is something that will build their capacity at learning. It's not just, let's talk about how great I am. It's, how can we take what I do really well and what I'm excited about in order to connect to the material that we are learning, okay? So if a student is really good at math, they might use that ability in math to start to understand how writing a good essay comes together as some sort of a formula, So when students begin with recognizing what their strengths are, okay, I am best at art. I am best at riding my bicycle. I am best at soccer. I'm best at fishing. Others often tell me that I'm good at writing. Others tell me I'm good at taking care of animals. Or even I smile when something makes me happy when I'm with my best friend. So that's a social intelligence. I'm happiest when I'm at home, I'm eating food with my family, okay? So that's also another strength, that maybe they need a snack while they're learning, okay? That works too, provided there's not other health issues, right? So I can blank, blank, blank better than most of my friends. Everybody's got something that they do a little bit better than, whether they've taken a class or trained for it at all. Sometimes parents will have students learn a musical instrument and that can set the kid apart. And I'm super motivated by ... And then the activity, you will have students identify what they excel at the beginning of the year, and then again midway, or even just once is fine. And have them pick several, 2 or 3, or just one, and draw a picture, okay? If it's adults, you might have them do something else like a collage, or, but really access different parts. Maybe they even write down lyrics to a song that inspires and motivates them, or kind of they can really relate with because they feel like it connects to them. Whatever it is, this is building soft skills. This is non-cognitive soft skills that access learning. So these strength finders. And moving on, there's a lot of different forms of student strengths. There's character strengths. Okay, I'm honest and trustworthy. I'm caring and kind. I'm sensitive. I'm loyal. I'm resilient. There's social strengths. I can take turns and compromise really well. I'm a good listener. I accept differences in others. I ask for help and I accept responsibility. These are good social strengths. And language strengths. I use words to express what I need and want. I like talking to people. I can change my tone of voice when I tell a story. So reading a book out loud to others. I can use grammar that is appropriate for my age. So these are language strengths. And I took all of this information. I'm going to share this with you in the chat. Oops, you didn't need to move it. And share this with you in the chat, and then revisit that chat because we're heading up towards the end of our, yeah, look at that. We've got a lot of stuff in the chat there. So I want to read what you guys have. Let me put this, that link will lead you to this. This is another good way of identifying strengths. This is more for the kindergartners maybe, or for the first or second graders, not so much kindergartners depending on their level. Let's go back through and see. The webinar is in process and will end in 10 minutes. Yes, I joined in Facebook now. Okay, and they might see it. Your head is okay. As sarcasm. Well, sarcasm is something in the classroom that has to be, I think with younger learners, definitely I try to stay away from it because they can't tell. And with older learners, maybe if you just walk past and say, working hard, you know, and that shouldn't necessarily be sarcasm if they're actually working hard. Looks like that is an empowering approach. I think so too, means everyone can succeed and prosper. Okay. Thank you for your comments and your inputs there. I've flown through this. This is the time for questions. And also I have a feedback form here that I'm welcoming your feedback. It's very useful for me. So if you do have, it's just actually 3 questions and it's multiple choice, so it's not particularly difficult. And the 4th question is a space for you to make comments of your own. Constructive feedback helps me to improve these webinars. I've packed this one full of a lot of information, so please, oopsie, it looks like that didn't quite. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. There's the form. Oops. Yeah. 2 times now. So if you've got any questions at this point would be the time to ask them. It's 9:58 and this is our wrap up. And any questions now? And this is our final slide. Please fill out the form. Okay, I'm gonna put that back into the, there it is. Again, there's the link for the form again. This is my email address. You can, if you've got questions or you want, you know, a copy of this presentation, I can send you the research in it. And this is my email address. You can connect with me. I'm on summer break. As I am very impressed, I don't know if you all are on summer break, but teachers who are on summer break and are still attending webinars, wow, you should pat yourselves on the back because that's some really good dedication. I'm going to put that link in there again. Oops, that's my email address. Go back to this link. Put that back in there again. There it is in the chat. am I the only one who cannot see the link in the chat box? All right, Ali, if you can't see the link in the chat box, you can also send me an email. I'm not writing in private, I'm writing to everybody in the waiting room at this, oh, not in the waiting room. I'm in the meeting. Okay, it had me in the waiting room. I apologize. Everyone in the meeting, let's try this again. There's the form. And here's my email. Thank you for pointing that out, everybody. Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, oh, finally. Yeah, for some reason it went to having me send messages to people in the waiting room. All right, I really have appreciated your time here. I'm gonna stop the share. Wow, look at all these folks here. Look at all these folks. Yeah. It's 1:58 in Argentina. Is that in the AM? 1:58 in the morning, or is that 1:58 in the afternoon? I think it's in the afternoon, right? Yeah. Well, I hope the weather is nice there. We've got a gorgeous day here. Okay, thank you so much for filling out that feedback form. It's been such a huge pleasure to meet you all. What a great, exciting opportunity to spend my, oh, we got a question here. Some students don't like praise, and students don't like praise. As a teacher, use your best judgment, right? If they don't want someone to come up and say, you're doing a lot of work, you know, these response to effort and process is different. Just keep going, you know, don't say anything. I recognize, like, when students are working together, they've kind of got their own little bubble of two, or even just on their own. And anything that comes in from outside can kind of disrupt that and throw them onto a different train. So that's a very good observation and very detailed about that approach with students. I know a lot of times I wouldn't praise anything unless it was appropriate, right? 1:01 a.m. in Malaysia. Wow, that's some serious dedication. Fantastic. All right, everybody, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you, Daisy, my winner. Woohoo, Daisy's the winner today. And teacher Kara, lovely. Yeah. So great to have met you.
Hello, thank you for this lovely session. By the way, missing your first 30 minutes. Sorry for that. But this lovely session that is really useful for us, for the teachers, the train of the people and students.
Fantastic. What country are you communicating with us from?
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. Wow,
yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us today. That was
absolutely lovely to be in your session too. Sorry.
And Lucina, at this point, I hand it back over to you and Marcin.
Okay, thank you. So I would just like to thank you one more time. And I would like to thank all of our participants. And I wish all of you happy time during summer. And on the 2nd of September, we will be able to meet again. And I wish you could stay with us, Heather, to continue your inspirational activity.
Well, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. You've got my email address, so maybe we can work something out.
Thank you very much for not
very kind to me.
The door. Yes, just leaving it slightly ajar.
Yes, I like that idea. That's a good idea.
Thank you very much. So goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Thank you for your time.
And meet you next.
By the way, should I have you saved the chat box, Heather, because you might want to use it sometime?
I just saved it. Thank you for reminding me.
Great, very well. So you have the chat box. Everything is okay. So I will stop recording right now. Stop.